You are now listening to Carlie's Couch.
I'm Carlie.
And I'm Lex.
In this podcast, we discuss a wide array of topics about life and how to live your best life.
Whatever that looks like for you.
Hope y'all enjoy.
Today on Carlie's Couch, we asked our listeners, what's the best part about getting older?
Oh.
Yes, I got it. Did you? Okay. I'll give that
a. That's better. The second one was better.
You know what's missing is a little raspiness. I'll give that a 7.5.
I don't really have that. I don't have the brandy raspiness in my voice.
That's okay. But you got it. You got a little growl.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to start growling in y'all's ear.
Baby Eartha Kitt.
Shout out to Eartha Kitt. I love watching her interviews. But I'm excited about today's topic, which is about the best parts about getting older, because I feel like all I've been hearing is the negative stuff lately. Like, oh, my body this, and I can't do this, and this, and my wrinkles, and Botox, and da-da-da-da-da. And I just feel like it doesn't have to be like that. I feel like there's a beauty in getting older that we should celebrate.
And I think I'm really seeing within our society, and I guess I'm saying like American society, but in general, it feels like we don't have the reverence for elderly, getting older, aging, like you see in other places. Like when you see older people and back on the continent or other places, it's like, oh, that's the wise older person that we respect, and that, you know, we open the door for her. I remember when I was in school in Spain, like people hop up quick when the older person gets on the bus or whatever, right? And like I feel like here, maybe because it's like we're kind of scared of getting older, we look at them like, oh, they shouldn't be on the road, they shouldn't be driving, or, you know, we kind of act like, oh, foolish grandma, like, and it's not a good reverence of like, wow, imagine all the things they know and have gone through, and this is a beautiful soul and a beautiful person, and they're not trying, well, they are here, but like, it just seems like everybody's trying to hold on to something.
Oh, they absolutely are. I would say, yeah, we don't culturally have that respect for elderly people or older people. We do not hold them to any high esteem. And I think we could, not always, because, I mean, they don't always know things. They're not automatically wise just because they're older. But I heard this story from Jamila Jamil. She is an actress and an activist. Great. Look her up if you don't know anything about her. She's amazing. But I saw this story.
Blake.
Yeah, there you go. But she was telling this story about how I guess they went on vacation, her and James, to Europe. And she saw a bunch of older women and men and wrinkles. And she was like, wow, I never even put that together. Like living in LA, I'm not used to seeing that. She's like, let's normalize like actually getting older and what that looks like. Like, let's learn to celebrate those things. And she said it kind of like changed her mind frame, just because I think we do live in a bubble, especially LA, New York, like maybe DC, stuff like that, where like you don't really see a bunch of people aging gracefully. They're really just trying to look young.
When you think about it, though, it really is kind of a sad state. Even when you think about how crazy it is for filters to exist, like the smallest thing, like it literally like changed your whole eyes. And I'm saying this as somebody who has used a filter and will use a filter, but it's like we really want to look a certain way, and it's kind of crazy, actually.
Maybe this is a whole other episode topic, but can we talk about how I didn't know that everybody edited their Instagram pictures? I didn't know that, so I only noticed because an influencer I followed posted a couple stories from somewhere, and one had edited out all their acne, and then in the next one I saw it and I was like, wait, and it was such a stark difference that I clicked back and I was like, huh? But then I realized, I was like, damn, like, wow, we really be out here internalizing things and not recognizing that people don't really look like that, and how damaging that can
people. Like,
that's crazy.
Even when you see the like whether it's Kardashians or whoever, you'll see the what's the real red carpet picture versus what they put up. And it's like,
insane.
It would be awesome if we were okay being normal and looking normal. So that's why I do respect. I have some friends who's like, they don't be editing nothing. You be seeing the bumps all over the place, whatever. I'm like, that's cool. But even I do see sometimes like Alicia Keys started doing like a no makeup, Pamela Anderson. You know, people start to kind of come back to it. This feeling of like, why am I doing all that? And I think that's a good thing. But just in general, definitely as an individual thing, I think we need to embrace getting older, embrace what that means for our bodies, what that means for who we are. I think it's great, but also, like I just saw on Twitter, I think I was probably looking at it this morning, you know, the people who go put mics in people's face, and this guy was like putting mics in older people's face, and they were like 80s and up. They all had the same types of answers about like, what would you do again? What do you regret? And they all talk about like not caring as much about material things. They all talk about the companionship of
spending more
their
time with
loved
people you care
ones.
about.
Yeah, it's the same things. And it's like, okay, can we like use that wisdom now as we are getting older and in order to like better enjoy our lives? Because a lot of them were saying like too, like, nah, I feel 26. And like, I'm like, I get it now because I'm 39. I don't feel like what I thought, as a younger kid, like what 40 would be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, like I'm still a little bit like, but also I'm an old head too, because I have like my friend's daughter who just turned 16 and she's like, yeah, y'all can't come to my birthday party. I was like, bet. Like, she was like, we gonna be embarrassed and all that. I'm like, cool. Like, I get it. It's a natural order of things. And yet I know I'm cool. Like, yeah. So we just got to embrace it. We'll talk about it. So what we did this week, this was the question that Carlie asked for the questions for the couch. What's your age and the best part about getting older? And got a lot of answers and got their ages. So we're putting them in order from youngest to oldest to look at these answers and think about these things that are good about getting older.
And it's cool because we have a range from like 28 to 72.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's pretty
And
breadth.
then we're what, like in the middle of that?
Yeah. Okay, so a 28-year-old said, and getting more comfortable with myself. I think I missed the first message, and getting more comfortable with myself. So I think that that's important. And I think that is something that happens as you age.
That's something that happens more and more as you age. Because every time you think you know yourself and then you get more and more comfortable. Like this is something I say often, that as I care less about what other people think about me, I'm really doing more of what I want to do or present myself the way I want to present. Like right now looking like I don't know what, but you're more comfortable because you realize like that doesn't matter. Like what matters is feeling good in your skin. So I would say 28 is a really good age to already be feeling like that, and definitely look forward to more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as we bloom, we get to learn more and more and get to the sweet spot. Like
same with this next person. They're 31, self-acceptance and understanding who I am. That every year, more and more, like you understand more and more who you are. Yeah, it's just epiphany after epiphany, especially if you're a journaler, if you're somebody who like really reflects a lot. Really seeing how you've grown through different situations, how you will actually do things differently is awesome.
And someone who is 32 said, the ability to craft a life that feels good to me. That's so beautiful.
And not to other people or not what you think. Again, I feel like it's gonna be a lot of this of like, I do what I want or I can be who I want to be. Because we definitely are socialized for all these things. And then it's like life is always like getting back to yourself. And so it really does feel like that as you get older.
Yeah, I think it's less about like creating yourself and more about discovering yourself, because I feel like those things maybe have always been there. We just put layers of nonsense on top of them.
Yes. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 33-year-olds. And
Shout
this
out
is
to
what
y'all
they had
Jesus
to say. Realizing every year how much I don't know and how there will always be something to learn and look forward to. That's wise.
Leaving behind people that no longer fit my vision for the future.
That's wise. Learning more about me and myself.
Learning not to care about the opinions of others.
I feel like every age you hear that, and it keeps getting stronger and stronger
Every single time.
And we still care. Like again, I'm 39. I still care about what people say, especially in certain things. And yet, I know a lot of places where I definitely see a difference and not. One of those things I like from 33 was realizing how much you don't know, because that is a thing. Like if I look back at like my teenage years,
I thought I knew
everything,
especially when I was a teenager, baby, you couldn't tell me nothing.
You really think you know what's going on. And now I'm like, now I'm like disillusioned. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't even know where to start with anything. Like, don't ask me nothing because I don't know. Straight up. And that's very wise though, to be open to learning things, recognizing you don't know how to do things, because at least you won't be in a box. So that's really good.
And that opens you up to create a life that does look and feel good to you. So hopping into these 34s, our 234 said, the best part is developing more understanding about myself. And then someone's funny. The best part, I didn't even see this one, is meeting people like you.
But that's real because, how old was I when I moved here? I guess, so I was at least 30 something when I moved to LA. And I think my friend group now is the best friend group. I've never had as tight of an adult friend group. And we're really like a sitcom. And I think that that's part of like, the more you know yourself, the more you are yourself, your friends and the people around you are stronger too, because it's like, not just, I'm cool with you because we're in proximity. We lived in the same, went to the same school, whatever.
Like we choose each other.
Yeah, these are people now that you could build relationships with that care about the things you care about, that are extensions of the values that you have and things of that nature. So I think that's really good.
And that's beautiful because the 35-year-old who replies that I just love becoming more me and getting to love on my people.
And that what's special about that too is as we get older, hopefully we can have a little more resources as well. And you are able to like take care of people more. It feels almost kind of weird now when it's like, oh, I get invited to a baby shower or something. I'm like, oh, I can get gifts and like, oh, I get the flights to go to places. Yep. And, you know, you don't feel like you're all struggling and everything. You can support folks. Have friends who, line sisters going through things medically wise or something with people's family. It's like, oh, I can give them some bread. People can loan you money, like, or you can loan people money. That feels good to be able to help people in that way, and to show that you're there for people as well.
That goes into one of our 36-year-olds that said, the best part of getting older is getting richer. Yes. Yeah. Hopefully.
No, but the not good thing is that 100,000 now is not the 100,000 from our parents either. So like $1, $20.
Or the 3 blueberries that our grandparents could possibly buy houses with.
No sir. Houses used to be $2,500.
Bruh.
And now you can't have rent.
Hold on, you used to be able to buy them hoes from Sears, and they would come prop them bitches up. A good $1,700.
Well, now Amazon does have a joint.
They do.
That's
I
fire.
saw those. Well, they said they have a couple, but you still got to own the land. You still got to own the land. So
actually, and I've been looking at that too. Land is actually a lot cheaper than I thought, but you still gonna be in the middle of like wherever.
I'm about to say, but it's land where you want it to be.
Right.
Is, that's the thing. But them little tiny houses and stuff like that, shipping container homes, fuego, if you have not looked those up. Some other 36-year-olds, let's see, the journey, the lessons I've learned, being able to watch my children grow.
I like that though. They say the journey that life takes you on. As you get older, or let me speak for myself, as I've gotten older, it's kind of like I don't care what happens anymore because I don't get caught up in anything awesome because I've seen stuff be awesome and drop real fast. And I don't get caught up in things being down. Like when in my struggliest times, even at my age now, I had not, like I knew I was good. I think that's because of relationships. I feel that as long as you have good relationships, like I'll never not have somewhere to stay. Like I'll never not have somebody who can provide something for me to eat. Actually, that was a thing with, remember we talked about the silent retreat and that Yogananda guy? That was one of the things he said. He was like, because he had nothing. He was like, I've served thousands. There's nowhere I can go where I can't be taken care of. But that's real. Yeah. So like recognizing as I've gotten older, like it really is just a bunch of ups and downs. Things happen, and all of it's fine because all of it's part of it. And so you're like less reactive and kind of just enjoying your moments.
I was about to say, I would say that peace that you have, like knowing things are going to work out. I did not have that in my 20s. So like, or at least in my early 20s. And so that is a beautiful piece of growth. Someone else said deeper relationships with self and others.
So I noticed we're seeing relationships all through this thing. Like, I know that's what's most important. Another 36-year-old said, I'm learning more about myself and where I come from, about life, nature, history. It's like I'm absorbing everyone's story and carrying them with me as I care for them and them for me. It's like family. Just got to keep in contact with them. That's all it is. So another bringing up family. And one thing I like about this also is exploring who you are, where you come from. And like there is something I think too, as I've gotten older, even with my last trip to the Bahamas, I spent way more time actually talking to like cousins. Granted, everybody's a little older now too, but I was asking questions about like family and people. Like there's some people I don't know and like the history and I think also as we get older we do. Maybe this is something you come back to because as kids we love nature too. I think.
Yeah.
But we come back to like the simple things of nature you enjoy, you appreciate. As everything feels like it's getting busier and busier, techier and techier around us, and it's like those simple things of like being grounded in who you are, where you're from, and all of that. There is a ignited interest there for sure in knowing the history.
Yeah, and for nature, it always makes me think about that meme with Jody's mama in the garden. It's like, oh, I get it now. Like, as I get older, I get it.
What's the meme? Look, I don't know.
It's a meme. It's a picture. Baby boy. So his mama had a garden.
I mean, I seen it, but
his mama had a garden, and she had a little, like, what are they called? The little tiny tables out there. So it's just a little table, a little chair for her. And she would just go sit in the garden. That was her thing. She had a glass of wine and a cigarette. I don't need a cigarette, but maybe the wine. I don't know.
That's how my mom is too. Like, she loved being outside. Like when I would come home or hanging out at the home when I'm visiting back, she like just sitting outside in the dirt with the shovel. So like that's, I don't know. It's almost like nurturing life and like it's something about that.
I think as we get older, we also if you're, on the path and really taking care of yourself, you get back in touch with your inner child, which is like close to your soul and who you are. And so all those things that like ignited you when you were little, and you
make time for that.
You make time for those things because you realize that those are the things that really matter.
Yes. We had 2 39-year-olds. One said, girl, bye. That's real. Maybe you struggle. I'm sorry to hear that. But think about the positives. And the other 39-year-old said, the best part of getting older to me is knowing what's for me and what's not, and being perfectly fine with that realization. Yeah, just moving.
Yeah, no.
So that, to me, that sounds like, okay, you have disappointments, things happen, keep it moving. Like, that just helps you get closer to where you want to be, where you need to be. Again, I think as we get older, we stop sticking to things, like wanting something so bad, or, whatever, especially like relationships. Like as you get older, you're more like, oh, okay, cool. With jobs, oh, okay, cool. Like, things can move because like there's more going on after that.
And you know that you're at the center of it. And so as you start to understand that, it's less about like how things have to manifest versus like trusting that they will and just doing your part. So then we got a 46, 48, 49 replies. And so the 46 and 49 are very similar. So caring less about what others think of me and more about what I think of me. So shout out to them. And then 49.
Cole again.
So my give a fuck filter is breaking apart more and more each day. And I'm finally feeling like I can say what I want within reason and not feel guilt or shame for expressing myself. I'm in my Aunt Polly phase and I love it here.
Oh, is she being Aunt Polly from Peaky Blinders?
Maybe. I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's the only Aunt Polly I can think of.
Look, I was about to ask if you knew who that was.
Well, if it is that, then she's like, you know how it's always really like the woman who's like running the gang of stuff because they're the
every
ones,
time.
Yeah, but they're not really the one in power. But she like, all right, do what you need to do this, do that. There's actually a lot of like gangster women and like historically like who really are the ones who like was the ones out there with their rifles and doing what they need to do anyway. But yes, again, more of people feeling okay being themselves. And then that 48-year-old said, I'm not a fan of the facial and body changes. That's real. That's the only one that like kind of kept it real with that. But I have always been a late bloomer. Take my time. In general, I feel like I'm finally fully bloomed. What I've been able to achieve came later, but is right on time. Stop shitting on yourself. So one thing I'll acknowledge with that too is that is a thing, right? I definitely notice, like, it's very small things. You notice that, oh, your skin doesn't bounce back in exactly certain places, that, oh, you do start to have those lines from smiling and frowning or whatever. You notice that finally, because for me, everybody be like, oh, when you're 30, you'll see. And it wasn't at 30. But for me, then 36, 37, yes, like, I was like, oh, if I don't move, like, I'm about to thicken up. Like, you learn more about your body and things do change, and you have to be okay with that. But then it also reinforces like taking care of yourself as well, which is something I have really gone into also. But I would consider myself a late bloomer too, because like when I look at my pictures from 16, I can look at my pictures from college and shit, and I look mad young. And I think so. You've been seeing all those combos about like how Gen Z and age different and stuff. And they have, if we're talking about this for us, right, they have even so much more pressure where it's like, they're doing a full face of makeup. When
they was 13.
I didn't even think about makeup till I was like in college. Like, and even then I was just doing a little blue and some dumb stuff and keep it moving. Like,
I still only know how to do eyes.
Yeah, like it is different. And I think also we don't realize like the more makeup you put on, you really actually look a lot older. Like, and that's one of those things that women, like, we feel good doing it. And then guys always be like, wow, you look good. Like when you out looking like nothing, they be like, wow, like, look at your actual face. And it's cool, but yeah, you be feeling like a naked naked mole rat when you don't have like anything. Yeah. Or I'm like, damn, I look tired as hell. But I don't know. I would say, and I'm sorry I'm getting off because we still got a couple more ages, but like being okay, just stepping out, knowing you look good, but you don't have to do the most. And I think if we were more comfortable with that, it gets a little easier.
But we talked about that in the sense that like we grew up before social media, so we had a time. These kids have never been without the constant like onslaught of looking perfect and like, oh my God, what about these pictures? Because we was out here looking wild. I look at my little kid pictures, hilarious. But like these kids have never had that opportunity. And then even we were talking about people now our age not posting pictures without fixing them and feeling like they have to look like something. And so I think like that does something to your psyche. And in a sense, it's like, figuring out what to be okay with. Like I was literally telling my friend who told me, because I was taking pictures for her. She was out here visiting. She was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to edit my belly out of this and I'm gonna have to do this. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know you edited your pictures like this. She said, yeah, girl, I don't post anything without editing. And she was like, you don't edit yours? And I was like, no.
There's some stuff I would, and it might be even the smallest things. And I'll, or like if I like move this a little or something. And then it's like, at the same time as you do stuff like that, you're also like, I don't really like you. You feel the conflict of it, and I think it's such a weird cycle of like, why do you feel like you need to do this, but also like, damn, that does look way better. But like, why do I feel like that? And knowing at the same time that everything would be much better if we could all just like be like, boom, like we're not worried about it.
Yeah, I told her, I was like, I told her, I said, I can't edit all mine and do all that because I don't want to look in the mirror and not feel like I'm good enough if I'm not perfect. And so I feel.
And generally, that's what we're saying, I guess.
And she told me she didn't feel like that. And that's cool. But for me, I know I can't do that because then there's this impossible expectation for me to try to live up to. And I think about that all the time because I also work in fitness. And so I'm going to go on a tangent. A lot of these women is hiding their belly and they things like they're either getting surgery, they're hiding it in their clothes, they're changing angles, they're editing photos, and then you're working out trying to look like that or trying to be your best self. And that's not what real bodies look like. And so I feel like if we all gave ourselves a little bit of grace and just did the best that we could, that is enough. Like that is enough.
It is. And it just sucks that we can't feel comfortable with just like how it really is, knowing that that's really how it really is for everybody. It's just weird because you trying to hide it. It's like, okay, now I want to try to hide it. And it's like, but we both have the same issue. And we could have just all been real about it. So I do respect and I do like when I do see people who, they don't care about that. Like, they're not going in on that. At the same time, it's like, yes, if you go into the awards, I did used to be pissed off at Alicia Keys. Like, bro, do your face.
I was
like
thinking about that too.
If you go into something for real, you do your face.
I only know
that's different than like, yo, day to day. You can't show
like a
nothing.
selfie.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that when I saw Pamela Anderson because it's such a stark difference, like her neck. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I do want us to be like, oh, you can love yourself and you can dress up if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's still not, yeah, and throwing some makeup on ain't the same as doing 20 hours of editing on your pictures. Like that really is insane, and that's something that it's super unfortunate for the people that do that. The last one?
Yep, last one.
I love it. So I'm so glad we have this 72-year-old who said, I think this is such a 70-year-old answer too.
Oh my God.
I'm excited to see things happening today that I've read about all my life in the Bible. It is no longer irrelevant. Closer to seeing the one who gave his life for me. Thank you for asking. Y'all are young. We are, and I feel young. And as a 70-year-old, thinking about what's the best part about aging, to be knowing that you will not be here, and that's all part of it, and that's a totally different space from.
Yeah.
He's talking about wrinkles and stuff, and he's like, okay, I'm getting closer to the end of going back into the earth, and I can look back on my life and see how things have happened and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm assuming she knows that certain things are not relevant. Like, they don't matter. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think at the end of my life, the goal is to die empty. So I want to have done all the things I wanted to do, created, spent the time, loved on people, did all the things so that like I don't feel like I missed out or I didn't do a thing or, any of that. Are there any real quick last little minute answers that they missed or something else you enjoy about getting older that was not in our extensive list?
Not so much because I think that one was yours. So like we had a few things that we had say we would answer. Mine's all about the feeling more myself. I say that to people all the time. Like I feel more like myself every time I do something or like kind of change my style or change my hair or change my habits or whatever. I'm just feeling more myself and I feel more confident and I'm okay expressing myself and saying what needs to be said. And also I am trying to embrace that there's a beauty that's like a refined beauty. So like even like if I post a selfie, I had one of my friends, he's my age too. He was like, wow, you just keep getting better with age. And I was like, thank you. And then my first thing is like, but you see the little lines now, and but it's like, no, remember like even people seeing you is like, that's beautiful. Like when you see trying to think of names with them, they done got some work done. Some of these folks who, as they get older, and it's a different type of like, beauty it might not be like, oh, you don't look like someone I'm trying to holler at the mall, but like it's a different type of refined beauty, and that's what I want to encapsulate. I want to feel like the regal, like a certain vibe, and that's what I'm trying to fall into, where it's like I'm not feeling like I'm trying to keep up.
Yep.
But I'm taking care of myself, and I'm presenting still beautifully in the space that I'm at.
I love that. I second, and I would say two things. So the first one is the less you care about what other people think about you, the more you understand yourself. That opens up, you to a whole other kind of beauty and a whole other kind of life experience.
It really shines from inside.
Yes.
And people can tell the difference.
And so that's like, I'm like, that's the best part.
When it's real superficial, it's very, ugh.
Yeah, but like that authenticity, like knowing what you want, like asking for it, that directness, that bravado that I think older women have. Like, I just love that shit. Like I've aspired to that forever. And I'm like, ooh, I'm on the precipice and I'm so excited. I also just feel so much more comfortable with my body. I still got goals. I'm still in the gym, but, just being a woman and being more womanly. Like I love the femininity. I love having fun with fashion right now in a way that's not dressing for the male gaze or for what I thought I had to look like, but having fun and figuring out what I like. And then the last thing I'll say is like, the more you know yourself, the better relationships you have, the better partnerships you have, the better sex you have, the better experiences you have, the being grounded in gratitude and presence, like I think just makes for such more of a full life experience.
Because you're putting your time where you want it to go. And I don't know, everything does feel a little less chaotic. Sometimes you
A
have
little
that-
less
that
superficial.
time. Yeah. You're not thinking that hard. You're not trying that hard because it just is what it is. So, yeah, I like that for sure. So as we continue to get older, it definitely feels like I still have a younger spirit. And I get that now, how it's like, oh, man, I'm definitely going to be older and like.
Oh, I'm a child.
Feeling young.
I feel
Yeah.
like a little kid. Like,
Yeah. And then, but I imagine that is tough. I remember one of the people the guy on the beach was interviewing too, was like, yeah, it's interesting. Like, I feel young, but my body doesn't do the same thing. So I imagine those frustrations as well.
but I would say if you really take care of your vessel, there's still a lot of things that you can do, even outside, like dancing. Like you see all these older people picking up, like you can do whatever. You just gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah. So let's continue to take care of ourselves, appreciate every day that you get to be here and get to age, accumulate that wisdom and apply it. And hopefully you see the beauty in getting older.